Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning and welcome. Please come and take your seat. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you here in the room, as well as online, to the first ever Hire Smart Conference, sponsored by Intuit and LinkedIn. My name is Leslie Barber, and I work here at Intuit. I'm part of the Employee Management Solutions team. This same time last year, I was a small business owner, like all of you. In 2005, my business partner and I started a company called Nutrabella, with the dream of making it easier for women to get the prenatal vitamins they needed while they were pregnant. We created a product line called Belly Bar, which was a line of, thank you. Were you a customer? I love you. Thank you. We created the Belly Bar, which is a line of chewable prenatal products to help women be able to swallow them a little bit more easily and to enable women to focus on the things they loved about being pregnant, things like their nursery or their baby names, so they didn't have to worry about whether or not they could swallow their prenatal vitamin. Well, about a year into Nutrabella, we needed some help. The business was going well, things were growing, but we had way too much to do, and we didn't have the time to do it. So we decided to hire our first employee, and the emotional roller coaster began. Anyone else know what that feels like? So I can remember very well the excitement I felt at this incredible milestone my business had reached. It was so exciting. I also remember that anxiety I felt around, what do I do next? Who do I call? How do I do it? I remember the concern I felt around, what will this mean for my business? How do I protect myself? How do I protect my family? Because my business is my family. And I remember as well the sheer optimism and hope I felt around bringing a new team member into our family and what they could bring to help us grow our business. And one of the feelings I really remember is feeling very overwhelmed when we put one post up on Craigslist and got 175 applicants in 1 week. Has anybody else done that? That was overwhelming. I spent my whole Thanksgiving reading resumes. Don't recommend it. There's some awesome companies out there to tell you how not to do that. So I am so excited about this event today, because I truly believe that you can take the roller coaster out of hiring today. My hope for all of you is that you walk away with the tools, the resources, and the ideas that you need to give you the confidence to hire smart and to grow your business. After about 8 years of running my business, I was ready for a change, and I was speaking to a dear friend about Intuit and the opportunities that were here. And when she and I were chatting about it, I thought, wait a minute. So you're saying I can take the mistakes I've made, the lessons I've learned, and I can come work for a company that is dedicated to simplifying those challenges for small business owners like me? Sign me up. So I am so excited to be able to come to work every day thinking about all of you and thinking about my experience as a small business owner to make some of those challenges just a little bit easier. In the Employee Management Solutions Group, our focus is on figuring out ways that we can make hiring, paying, and retaining our employees just a little bit easier for all of you. I spend my days trying to take the scary out of hiring, things like compliance and protecting yourself, making sure you follow the laws. Those can all be really scary. And so that's what I spend my day trying to make a little bit easier for all of you. Now, one of the other challenges I remembered was cash flow. How many here might experience that every once in a while? Yes? I remember falling asleep at night, dreaming that a chunk of change would fall out of the sky and would show up so that I could do this project or that project on my to-do list. Well, we might have an opportunity like that for all of you. Intuit's Love Our Local Business program has already granted $1.2 million to small business owners like all of you. And we're doing it again. On May 6th, we will be granting 15 wishes of $5,000 each. And when I think about that, for me, That was a national ad campaign in pregnancy magazines. That was possibly bringing in a designer to do new packaging. That was really major for my business. That could have moved me farther. So what is your wish? What's on your to-do list? Please go to loveourlocalbusiness.com and submit your wish today. Here in the gallery, for those folks who are here, go over to the gallery walk. There is a booth there where you can submit your wish. And also, you'll be entered into a raffle to win an iPad. And at the small business panel this afternoon, I will be choosing the winner or announcing the winner, and you must be present to win. So please come and join me at the small business panel. Well, I've always wanted to have an Oprah moment, and this is my Oprah moment. That's my dream. So there are about a dozen gift cards for $50 from local businesses under your chairs. Could everybody please take a look? Let's see who wins. Anyone? Yay! Any others? Do we have any others? All right. Who took the gift cards? Yay! Good job. Awesome. So thank you to our local businesses for donating those. So there is plenty to keep all of you busy today. I hope it's an absolutely wonderful day for all of you. I hope you all get everything out of it that you were hoping for. There are resource booths to keep you busy. There are absolutely delicious food trucks out there to keep you well fed. There are amazing sessions as well. So without further ado, it's my great pleasure to get this day started and to introduce to you into its president and CEO, Brad Smith.
Great job. Man, you're better than Oprah. That's fantastic, Leslie. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's exciting to see everyone here in the campus, and for those of you who are dialing in remotely, we're excited to have you as well. Obviously, my name is Brad Smith, and I'm in the overhead department at Intuit, which means lots of smart people do good things, and I try not to get in their way. I also want to extend my welcome today to the Hire Smart Workshop. This is going to be a hands-on workshop, and it's sponsored by our company Intuit as well as our partner LinkedIn. And we're excited to bring you here today, and I'm assuming you're here because you're in the hiring mode, which means your company is growing, so congratulations, because that is the secret sauce to our economy as well as the world's economy. And I know that comes with a lot of excitement. You're getting that enthusiasm of getting someone in there with you who can help roll up their sleeves and get things done. But it also comes with that complexity and that fear that Leslie talked about. There's a big decision to be made. And today's event is designed to help you get access to expertise, to tools, to services, and to each other, so that you can learn and hopefully make a big step forward in that process. Now, Intuit, you may have noticed when you walked onto our campus that we're a bigger company now. But we started as a small business ourselves. Our founder, Scott Cook, watched his wife, Signe, struggle at their kitchen table to balance the family checkbook 30 years ago. That kitchen table, by the way, is sitting out in the lobby to remind us each and every day that that's where we began. And that's where our engineers and product managers sit with Scott Cook, our founder, 30 years later to talk about the next idea. And so it keeps us reminded of what it means to be a small business. Now we serve 60 million customers around the globe. We have 5 million small businesses that are our trusted customers. And the crazy thing is 25% of the U.S. economy flows through those small business customers using QuickBooks and our payment services. And we do 40% of the nation's taxes. So we've become a bigger company now. But we still have never lost sight of that kitchen table or that mission to simplify the business of life so you can pursue your passion and not have to let all that administrative stuff get in your way. Our job is to try to make that easy. But we're not here to talk about our kitchen table. We're here to talk about you and yours. And the important thing is the role you play in our lives every day. In the communities that we live in, you are the ones that keep the engine moving forward. In the United States, 99% of all the employers are small businesses. Half of all the private sector jobs, that's the non-government jobs and non-farm jobs, are working for small business owners like you. And in the last 15 years, 2/3 of all the new jobs created were created in small businesses. You are the backbone of the economy. It's your passion. It's your discipline. It's your persistence that keeps everything moving forward. And if we're going to get healthier as a country and healthier as a global economy, we need you to succeed. Now, here's the best thing of all. There's never been a better time to be a small business owner. That may sound crazy because it is tough out there. But we work with the Institute for the Future. They're a think tank. They work with the government. They work with larger companies. And they look at the trends over the next 10 years. And there are 4 major trends happening right now that, quite frankly, have leveled the playing field and tipped the odds in favor of small businesses for the first time since they've been doing these studies back in the 50s. The first big shift is something called participation-driven innovation. Said another way, social. Customers no longer just want to be consumers and shoppers now. They want to be participants. We choose what stuff we upload on LinkedIn and what news we read. We choose what music we download to our iPods and our MP3 players. We choose what apps we put on our phones and our tablets. It's a market of one. But we also want to be the ones who talk about the things we like. We post it. We do it on Yelp. We'll do it on any sort of Amazon reviews. And we will be the marketing engine for you if you do a good job for us. We have to find a way to help you harness that, and we'll talk about that today. The second big shift is the world's borders have come down. We're talking about the internet, the web, they call it the cloud. The cloud has no natural boundaries. It is a wonderful way for you to reach beyond your typical ability to reach the customers, and you have to find a way to harness that, and we'll talk to you about services that can help you do that today too. The third is the mobile experience. How many of you have a phone, a smartphone? Android device, iPhone. I don't know if you've ever seen this. This is changing everybody's life. I don't know, any of you have children or grandchildren under the age of 6? Have you ever seen them walk up to the TV screen and swipe the glass to try to change the channel? This is the way people expect to interact going forward, and it's a wonderful tool because it's not a phone, it's a computer. It gives you the ability to accept payments electronically, whether you're at the home or out on the road. It gives you the ability to keep connected with potential employees or the ability to look up customer information. The mobile phone is powerful. It liberates small business owners. And then the last thing is this thing called data. The press calls it big data. We think it's big data for the small business. It is the way for you to learn more about your customer, what they shop, what they buy, what they like, and connect with them in ways that have never been possible before. These are exciting times. And to help you do this today, we've got experts here. We have Bill Rancic, who's going to talk to you. He's a small business owner himself. He's written a book. He was the original winner of The Apprentice. I just took off his introduction from Jeff Weiner. We have Rhonda Abrams, who's going to be here, and she's a wonderful person who's written books and can tell you lots of magic tricks about small businesses. Jeff Weiner, who's a great friend of mine, he's the CEO of LinkedIn. He serves on our board of directors as one of the most trusted counselors to our management team, and a whole host of other people that can work with you today. So I'm excited to roll up our sleeves. This is going to be a Learn by Doing workshop, and without further ado, I'm going to get off the stage, and I'm going to bring Jeff Weiner up, who can impart some real wisdom about social networking. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. It is wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for the kind intro, Brad. You know, I can't think of many more things that I would consider more valuable to growing the U.S. economy than ensuring that small business leaders like yourselves have access to the right talent. As Brad said, you are the backbone of the U.S. economy. And whether you have 10 people at your company or 10,000 people at your company, I think most business leaders today would agree that there's no more important dynamic than ensuring you have access to world-class talent in terms of maximizing long-term value for your companies. And that's certainly the case with Brad and Intuit. I'm on the board. I get a chance to see him and his team every day. And if you go further down the street here, you'll bump into a little company called Google with some pretty extraordinary technology and infrastructure, and where most would point to that technology and say that's the reason for their incredible success. Talk to the founders, Larry and Sergey, and ask them how it came to be, and they'll point first and foremost to recruiting world-class talent, world-class engineering. And I can speak from firsthand experience as well because of what we do at LinkedIn, which also coincidentally happens to be further down the street. So I hadn't thought about that, but it's true. And for us, building a world-class team is priority number one. It's literally codified. We talk about our operating priorities all the time, and number one is building a world-class team. That's where it all begins. But for us, it's not just an operating priority, it's also the business that we're in. We're in the business of connecting talent with opportunity at massive scale, unprecedented scale. The reason it is unprecedented is because of the convergence of two trends. The first is the existence of massively scaling infrastructure that enables a handful of social platforms to connect hundreds of millions, if not billions, of people around the world in milliseconds. That was never possible before. But more importantly are the behavioral changes taking place as a result of the existence of this infrastructure. The way in which we now all go online to represent who we are, our identities. The way in which we build out our networks, friends, families, colleagues. And of course, the way in which we share today seemingly everything. News, information, knowledge, ideas, opinions. We share things that 10 years ago, if anyone were to predict, they'd call you crazy. And as a result of all of these dynamics, the world is fundamentally being transformed before our very eyes. The way we live, the way we learn, and of course, the way we work. And that's what LinkedIn is focused on. Fundamentally transforming the way the world works. And we do that in part by creating economic opportunity for professionals. No discussion of economic opportunity would be complete without you. Small business leaders, small business owners, small business founders, for all the reasons that Brad suggested earlier. You are the backbone to the American economy. You are the employers. You create the majority of the new jobs in this country. There are over 10 million small business employees on LinkedIn today, over 500,000 small business founders, owners, and leaders. So we spend a lot of time thinking about your needs and listening to your challenges. And whereas hiring the right people is paramount for all companies, one could make a very strong argument that it's most important for you because you have very small teams to begin with. And when you have 5 or 6 people, that next incremental hire, it can make or break you. And that was the case when Scott created Intuit at his kitchen table. That was the case when Reid Hoffman founded LinkedIn in his living room. And that's the case for all of you here today. So how can we help? How can we make a difference? How can we better increase the likelihood that you're going to be able to find exactly the right person to build out your teams? Today, if we achieve our objectives, you will be fully versed and fully trained on how to make the most of the LinkedIn platform. And I just want to give you a few examples now. One would be taking advantage of job slots, where you post jobs on LinkedIn and some magic happens because of the size of our network, because of the data that we've aggregated, because of our matching capabilities and our recommendation engines. Without you having to do anything else, we can get that job in front of the right prospect at the right time. Now, why is this so important? Because you're out there competing for talent with companies that are much larger and better resourced, with dedicated recruiting teams. And for the first time ever, we can help you level the playing field. And speaking of competition for talent, it has never been more intense, regardless of how large your company is. Whether you're a small company, a medium-sized company, a large company, we've never seen anything like this. Everyone wants the best talent they can find because we all recognize that's where value is created from. So how can we help you better compete? One key trend that we see emerging in the world of recruiting is the way in which you build your talent brand. What's your talent brand? It's how you tell the story of why your company is the best place to work. And as small business owners, you have incredible stories to tell. Your vision, your dreams, your passions, your values. And through LinkedIn and assets like your company profile and targeted status updates, we make that possible in a way that was never possible before. And then lastly, and arguably most importantly, is the ability for you to search across over 200 million professionals on our platform. And the index, our repository of professionals, is growing by more than 2 per second, the fastest rate of growth in our platform's history. You'll be able to search across almost limitless facets and variables in the manufacturing sector, the service sector, the sales sector, key segments for you to be able to build out your teams. And perhaps most valuably, you'll be able to search for people that aren't necessarily actively looking for work. Passive candidates as well, who may be perfect for you, but you would otherwise never know about them if it weren't for the ability to search on the LinkedIn platform. So by the end of today, if we've done our jobs, you're going to feel like the LinkedIn platform is an extension of your team, is an extension of your recruiting efforts, and we want to make you much more successful and productive when it comes to building a truly world-class team, which is ultimately going to bring you one step closer to realizing your objectives, your vision, and your dream for your small business.